Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and we're going to continue developing the system. Yesterday we had left off as we had properly set up the Supabase database setup, and right about now you have found me finalizing the convex mutations, the queries, and database setup. So once the agent is done, I'm going to explain to you what it did and everything, so that we can pick up from where we left off yesterday. So the other thing that we can maybe dive into more again is the architecture, yeah? So that we get a clear and proper understanding of what we're actually building. So yesterday, actually you can just be seeing the ARDs, and we get a clear understanding of actually what's happening. So right about now we are working on the convex setup, and there, and these are the tables that are going to be created there. So the way convex as a backend works is convex implements its should I call it tables or its operations through mutations and queries. Yeah. So basically mutations are the ones that do the basic creation, updating, and deletion of the items in the database. Then the queries are the ones that do the actual getting of the items, selection of the items. So basically that's the basic overview of how convex works. So with these tables, as you can see right now, they're supposed to be left matrix, UI state, sessions. So here we can give it an example of, like, let's go to the sessions. So under sessions, in a way that I set up this architecture is, by default, when you set up a convex project, everything has to be, like, you're going to find out that when you're creating your files, let me say, like, it's going to be like a new table. Most of the times you just come and be like, okay, this is the new table that is going to be created .ts, and then within here, that's where you're going to write now the mutations, you're going to write your queries. But with our kind of architecture, I was able to group those tables, group the tables. So each table has like a separate folder, and in that folder we have a file that is going to only have the queries, and one that is only going to have the mutations. So as you can see right now, this is a mutation for the UI state. So when we go to the UI state table, it has ID, username, thus, and when we go to the creation, this is now the handler. So what this handler does is it's going to go and write to the database, yeah, or it's going to either insert or update in case the item is there. Then it's going to insert it if it doesn't exist. Then these are the arguments that are required by that object. Here we're just doing some simple validation using convex v-values kind of validation. Then after the validation, then here we're just getting the already existing items within the UI state. Yeah. So if those items are existing, then that's when now we're going to do that part. Yeah. So we're going to update. But if there's nothing there, then we do the insert. So basically that's how convex basically works. Yeah. In simple terms. Then on the query side, on like getting items from that UI state table, what is done is we have this query, should I call it a query function or like a query operation, that takes in arguments. So now these arguments are the ones supplied in depending on what we specifically want that query to have. So then we return its handler. So the handler is the one that actually going to like work on that convex query. Yeah? So what this handler does is it's going to go and run a query on the UI state table. Then that specific table has an index. Yeah, so it has an index called by user ID and user organization. Then it's going to get the user ID from that. Remember, this UI state table has like a user ID. So what this query does is it's going to get the user ID that was passed in through the arguments, and then it's going to equate it to the user ID that is already existing within our database to see if they match. And if they match, then we are going to also ensure that the organization ID that is already existing in the database is similar to the organization ID that is passed in. And then we get the very first item of the very first item of the successful query of that operation. So ensuring that we only have one item of the UI state that has that kind of query. Yeah. So basically that's how queries work with Convex. It's a really good kind of setup. You're not going to write any SQL statements or SQL queries, things like that. Yeah, so it's really good and really fast, and that's why I really like Convex, and it's also TypeScript, so it's really a good kind of setup, and it's also type safe. Yeah, so remember the Convex v-value setup is just like it's for validation. Then we are also going to use Zod for our validation, like in-app validation, and ensuring that the user data that is passed in properly is the actual one that is required. So when we go back to the other tables, so the same way that I've explained the UI state convex kind of setup is a similar setup that we have for the rest. Yeah. So now we can see that we have, let me select the event table. So when you go to our packages, convex, then we go to the convex directory. It has that event directory that contains all the mutations. Remember, mutations are for creating, updating, and deleting. Yeah. Then the queries are for selecting and getting items from the database. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. So this mutation, what it does is it takes in arguments that are required by the event table, and they're being validated in Convex using the convex values kind of setup, and then the handler function is the one that actually runs that mutation. Yeah. So what the mutation does is it takes in arguments. So it takes an argument, and now this is the actual execution kind of layer that is given to us by Convex. So we go and do an insertion. So we're writing items to the event table, and these items are the arguments that are passed in. Remember, we had already validated them, so they are properly passed in, and then we pass in a false value to be processed, and then we also then attach the date that is going to be now. Yeah. Then there's another mutation under the event setup that does like a patch. So this is going to update the event table. So whenever an ID of an event is passed in, then we are going to go and get all the, or we're going to pass in that ID and ensure that we update our event table. That value of process that was by default false is going to be changed into true. So basically that's what that mutation is going to do. So, and we called it mark processed. Yeah. So basically that's how these convex that's how the convex setup works. Yeah. So then in convex we have like other files within the directory. Yeah? So right now we have a schema. So in the schema, this is where now we define like the actual tables that are going to be created within the database. Yeah, that is where we define the specific columns those tables are going to have. Then and also define like the indexes that those tables are going to have within our setup. So I can see that right now the agent is done and it committed some other changes. So as I can see, so with Convex right now, if you to see, I'm inside this package. I'm just outside. I'm just inside the packages directory, then inside the Convex directory. So the Convex directory that has the actual files or the actual tables is inside. Yeah. So I'm just in this outside directory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run npx convex dev once. So what this does is it's going to get all our mutations, all our tables, the schema and everything. It's going to upload it now to Convex. This is like a push, yeah. Um so if I can see here, it says what domain used in the config file, but its value was not placed. So literally sometimes you have to pass in environment variables to our like the convex setup, yeah, because as you can see right now we have this host.config. So host.config, it's depending on a Supabase host domain kind of variable, yeah. So the convex config, this is just for like defining the convex setup. The schema already explained that. Then it also has its own tsconfig file that just defines how TypeScript is going to bundle or like handle that TypeScript directory or like that TypeScript project. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our agent and then make sure that like you pass the correct files and fix that and run npx convex dev once. So the other thing that I'm going to do is probably I'm going to move this agents.md file. I'm going to delete it from here and then I move its details to the main agents.md file, yeah. So I'm going to just name this convex setup. So so here we have this project uses convex as its event database layer. When working with a convex code, always read. Then here we have packages, convex, and then convex then generated, yeah. So that's it for important guidelines on how to correctly. So let me properly style this. Alright, so I can just then the con we don't need this, we don't need this, so I can make this secondary header so it is convex. I want to get the proper naming of that convex. So I can go to my docs, convex schema. So it's being used as a reactive execution layer. So I can go to copy, then instead of this I do that. So I can save this. So let me first open our I'm going to open our database. This is the file that has the architecture. Yep. Alright, so I think that's basically it. Yep. So you can go back and see what the agent is doing. So it tells us that npm's convex dev succeeds with all 18 indexes created and the functions applied successfully. Then it had properly set up the host domain, remove the unnecessary deployment URL. Then I can test it out and see if it actually ran. So I can just clear this, run that command. So yeah, we can see that the convex functions are properly set up. And when now I go to convex, I can properly see that my tables have been created. Remember, right now I'm using the dev environment. So if we wanted to set up that production deployment, then we could do that. Then after we would type in npx convex deploy. Yeah. So when I run this command, it's going to get the mutations, it's going to get the queries and all the like the entire schema, and then it creates it under the production setup. Yeah, under the production setup. So basically, yeah. So after that, we can first verify under the function setup that right now we can see that our functions have been created. Yeah. So you can also still be able to run these functions using convex, but you can see that all our convex functions are properly created. Yeah, both the mutations and the queries. Yeah, and they're properly listed under their verified groups or tables or folders. So the other thing that we can do now is updating our docs, because right now our agent and our docs are not yet up to date. So I'm going to just request it to, can you update our docs, ensuring that convex docs are using the latest application and setup. Yeah, and also update the Postgres, the Supabase setup. Yeah, Supabase docs setup too, and project overview. Then the other thing that I would like to point out is we have this env.local. I can by default see it only has convex deployment and that, but I think we also needed to have, let me see if we have an outside env. Not really. So I can first delete this. Then we can have an example .f.example. So within that, to ensure that okay, next, like someone can easily deploy to that setup, I just remove those. This is for the site URL. Then also remember it had set up a Supabase host domain. So we go to go and do that. Then we're going to copy this and then go to our local env. Save this, open in editor and also add it here. So close this. Then we're going to add the Supabase post that it had set up. So it was supposed to be this. So we go to our setup. Whoa, paste. Yeah, so it probably pastes that value there. So I can save this and close all these. Then go back to our agent and see its progress. Then the other thing is we can go to the Supabase dashboard and actually let me go to X and tell people that we have started. Oh, alright, so go to YouTube. So we can go to now our project, which is Africa OS. And then what I would do is I can just go to the left and then I copy the link. Copy the link and paste it on X. And then be like, we have started day 3 Africa OS development. So I can paste that and post. Then we can see that inside our setup, in the public schema we have. So yesterday we were having issues whereby our agent wasn't able to properly set up the tables for the required workflow that we had set up. So I was able to prompt the agent or like properly set it up manually so that we have a proper active file in Supabase. So I can just like that. Alright, so this is continuing. So I'm going to on the agent and see what it does. So today we're going to finish setting up all these modules, all the packages and everything. But now get into the actual development of everything. Though I don't know why. Anyway, it's alright. It's okay. So we can just see our agents. So let me see what's inside this. After the example. Do we really need it here? Supabase-Convex. I think so, because our applications are going to use it. Alright, so I can just copy paste this so that we have a proper env setup. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Supabase, and then I can close others. The Supabase URL is good from, we can go to connect. Then we can first copy those environment variables. Then I can just cut this, paste it here. Then this is for the publishable key, we can just leave it there. Then we have to go and set up the unknown keys and the service role keys. So to do that, we go to our project settings, and then we go to API keys, and then we go to legacy or unknown service role API keys. So we copy the unknown key and we paste it here. Then we can go to the service role and paste it here. So alright, about the keys leaking and stuff like that, I'll be deleting all this stuff later on, so don't worry about the keys leaking. Yeah, I will rotate all the keys and everything. So yeah, I'll be deleting all this stuff after. I just want to show you like how everything is properly set up. Yeah, so we can go to the convex public URL. As for now, that is under that's under this, so you can see that. So most times we use site and we use site. Alright, so I can close that. Yep, we can see that it's done setting up the convex schema, so it was updated. So if we go to our docs and then we go to convex schema, we can see that everything was properly updated. The indexes, notifications module, and everything was properly set up. Yeah, though I really hate it when I have all these linting MD bugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the agent. Can you help me fix all those MD linting bugs so that we have a cleaner setup? So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to go to the packages, convex. I remember we also had like this host.config issue whereby it wasn't detecting this process.env. So I'm going to also tell it also help me fix this issue. So now we can see that everything is properly set up. I don't know why it's always pushing to main or remote. But as you can see, the agent is going to fix that. Yeah, so as you can see 4 minutes ago, so it's just always pushing to remote always, and that's not a desired behavior. For now, I'm going to tell the agent to first stop doing that. Yep, because I want it to work on different branches for the different issues that we have, so we can still go back and look at the issues. So our very first issue that we have to solve is that identity multi-tenant organization setup. For now, the schema designs are done and we have properly set up the database tables, both Convex and Supabase. Just to do like a recap, we have this as our application kind of setup, whereby we have 3 applications: the web, the admin, and the landing page, all of them using TanStack. And then we have an application layer that is going to use server functions from TanStack to be able to manage like the entire application layer, instead of using things like API routes and stuff like that. So specifically for the API routes, we're just leaving them for the webhooks and maybe things like OAuth, whereby we would want to integrate Google authentication within the application, or like any other kind of provider. So we leave the API routes for that. And then we also have like the module specific server functions. So I can really update this instead of actions or using server functions, since they're all coming from Convex. So when a user, like let me say, writes to the database, or like let me say they would want to create like a new organization, or like a new team member. So what it's going to do is it's going to trigger the server function within our application layer. And what that server function does is it's going to now go to the event bridge. So what does this event bridge do? So this event bridge is going to trigger 2 things. It's going to trigger the real-time Convex execution layer, and then it's also going to trigger a database write to the Postgres database. So when someone writes to the events table, when someone triggers an action, it's going to first write the event to the events table. So Convex is going to pick that up so that we are able to notify the client that in real time that this action is being worked on using the use query kind of setup. And then we are going to now write to the Supabase database. So in case we have things like let me say like the client had like a network connection, or like as we're doing the setup, like that operation was kind of stopped, then we have the ability to not only be able to have our database, like have this details properly set up within the database, and then since the execution layer was properly set up, the notifications can still be sent to our users since they are within their own database setup. So there's that. So you can see if the agent is done, not yet. So we can go through the issue and see where we are right now. So we can see that the objective right now is introducing the multi-tenant organization support, isolated data domains per organization. So this isolated organization support is, I really don't want this backup file. Let me first delete that. I think this was saved. Which changes saved. I don't want that backup file. So the context is this feature belongs to the identity engine and forms the foundation of all the modules by defining data isolation boundaries. So all these specific modules are going to rely on organization scoped access. What do we mean by that? So all these modules are going to have one kind of organization. So when people come to our application, they have to create an organization. Then through that organization, they can be able now to access all these different modules. So instead of having separate applications, the organization can manage its CRM there, it can manage the billing there, it can manage like scheduling meetings there, it can manage its inventory, It can manage, let me say, if it has like an online store, it can still manage it there. It can manage the reports there and all that stuff. So just by now we did that. So we can just go to this, and right now we can go to the agent and see what it's actually doing. So sorry, now it's formatting prettier. So most times when you're working with the agent, it's very good to go deep down into like its history and see what things it did, because sometimes it can easily blunder. So what it did here when I told it to fix the MD linting bugs is it first checked for any linting issues. Then I had also passed in this fix for the convex auth kind of environment variable that was not being picked up. So so it ran prettier to ensure that all the MD files are following the proper linting setup. Then so the linting setup is being picked from here. So we have a table of 4 and we're using mostly semicolons, single quotes here. And we can see the changes that are being done by this agent. So I can close this. So right now we can see that node types have been added as a dev dependency under the entire application. And then when we go to the docs, we can see that now the tables are properly created, like they're properly formatted as we wanted. Same with the convex schema documentations, and I can just extend this to say that the architecture is properly created. Then we updated our GeoIO setup from the other side. Then I think it also properly linted the project overview, so we can see that the tables on the left hand side are not properly set up, but on the right they are. Same with this. Then within the readme, I don't know what it did there, but I think it properly also linted. Then we can go to the agents MD. I think these are the changes that are done of moving the convex setup from actually it did align the table setup. So yeah, after doing this prettier setup, or like the linting setup, we're going to dive into now the actual modules, like how we set up those workflows within the actual modules of those organizations. So now we are able to integrate them inside our web application setup. So as for now, I'm going to go to ChatGPT and see if we can get a logo for this Africa OS kind of application. So ChatGPT was very good for brainstorming the idea and ensuring that we have a cleaner concept for this entire project. So I can go to alright, so I'm going to just prompt it to generate the logo. You can need help. I can actually use the speaking. Can you help me generate a clean logo transparent version for Africa OS? We are using an orange and white kind of theme. So that is going to transcribe and properly write to our So I can just remove this because it was not wanted. Now let me generate a local clean transparent version logo image for Africa OS. It's not OS, and so we can send that, and then we wait for ChatGPT to create the image, and we can now go to this and see how it verifies all these other things. So when we go to our packages, we have the config package, and then we have the services package, yeah, and we also have the Supabase package that has our Supabase setup. Though as per now I really don't need this seed SQL, I'm going to delete that. This should only have like our migrations, yeah, that were created yesterday. So I can maximize this. This one's just going to have like the services that can be shared within our modules or our application, yeah. So yeah, can let it fix that. So it's creating the image. So we can look at like the other issues that we have as the agent is doing that. So we can look at the contact management data model. So we are introducing a contact management engine that stores an organization contact records. So under the CRM module, then the context is this feature belongs to the CRM engine module that depends on the identity engine of the organization. So yeah, so the very first module that I would want to set up is the identity one, yeah. Since all those modules are depending on this one, so we can see what is currently there. As per now, there is literally nothing. I'm also going to tell it to, can you delete all the .git keep file within this entire project, since I really don't need them and they are annoying. And instead of server actions, we are going to call them server functions, and rename all instances of server actions either directories or files to use server functions, since we are working with TanStack Start. So for the model right now we're using DeepSeek V4 Flash. It's open source, and we're using OpenCode as our agent platform, yeah. Though there's another one that can still provide that same DeepSeek module, which is FreeBuff. So in case you don't want OpenCode, you can use FreeBuff. FreeBuff has free. So I can see the bad thing about maybe FreeBuff is it has ads, yeah. So if you're not worried about having ads in your setup, it's also a good tool whereby you can easily get that model for free, and its sessions are quite kind of big than the ones that will be given by any other model providers. So yeah, that's also another option that you can use, but As for now, we're going to comfortably use this open code setup. So it's renaming the files, and I'm going to tell it please stop pushing to main or remote. And so we have not yet started like having our setup on like different branches, but we're going to do that because we would want the agent to set up like work trees so that it works on all these modules separately, and then it pushes those to like the different branches, and then we're able to like match them all in main after ensuring that that entire setup is complete. So it's going to do that in a loop. Yeah, so in case there are any PRs that are having like quadrabit comments or like comments from codecs, then like yeah, from codecs, then it's going to be able to like fix those issues. So yeah, so we can go and see the logo that was generated by this. It's a cool logo. It's not that bad. I can tell it to generate the icon only one. So we can just download this. This is not bad, but we don't want that gray kind of background within the Africa word. So I'll have to fix that either using an online tool like so there is an online open source tool that is that can give you Photoshop kind of functionalities. It's called, I think it's Photopia. Yeah, this one. So instead of installing Photoshop manually, we can use Photopia, and it would automatically give us like the same functionalities similar to now what I would want to do within this setup. So I can download this logo. It has placed it there, so we can create a new project, and we can just place this at 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels. Then we create but I think I did a mess. We're supposed to use a transparent background, so this is proper. So now what we're going to do is we are going to import the file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open that image and then paste it here. So it's going to automatically upload it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to resize this. I'm going to resize this properly. And then we click apply. Then the other thing that I can do is I can go to the background and then we crop it to ensure that it's properly matching our logo size. So we can do that, and after that I can go to the image and then we remove this gray kind of background. So with that, I'm going to go to magic wand, selection tool, and I don't know why it's not highlighting it. Okay, so select that gray kind of background and then delete. So it's saying smart object must be rasterized first. So we can just put that image and then there's an option to rasterize that layer. Let me see if I can just delete it still. Alright, so it automatically rasterized the layer. So the other one that I can delete is this one. Delete this. So it wasn't able to properly delete these lines, so I can do that and delete Ctrl D, delete. Okay, it's not giving us a clean deletion, so I can just do a quick select. Then I can select these lines using so I can just can first increase the size of this pointer, then I press Alt to ensure that I'm only highlighting what we need. Or what I would have done is just prompted ChatGPT to remove that orange. Can you generate that? Can you remove that orange? Sorry, that gray kind of background from our image logo. The text kind of image logo. So we can be going to the agent and see what it did. So this is what it did. Picture was set up, properly formatted, it added enough the dependencies. So if we go to host.config, it should have solved this bug. Then it removed all the .git files. Then if we see so it updated the docs, those are the comments that it did. Then I think it was still pushing to main remote. Delete, can you stop pushing to remote main? And I can close this and reflect some functions. That's okay. So now we're going to tell the agent to now do the operation or like do the module. Yeah. So what we're going to do is wait for this commit to be set, and we can go back to our project overview. Actually, I just want to see this from I don't know if we have a front-end design skill set up here, because I want to do something front-end, skills.sh. Can first close this, so we can go to the Anthropic front-end design skill, and then we copy that so that we can install that skill. We are going to install it globally, So the skill has been set up, so we can see open code is included. I can just press enter, so I want it globally. Symlink to all the agents and press yes. Alright, so our skill has been generated. Let me see if it automatically detected it. So now I have to restart open code. Can restart open code. Then let's make sure that the skill is there because I want you to generate an HTML version of that project overview. Yeah. So we can go back to our session and then tell it to use that front end design skill. Can you generate the project overview.html kind of file that will have all the context from the project overview.md setup. Use the sans font and orange and white kind of theme. So as it's doing that, I can go back to our logos and it still kept it that down. But anyway, I'm going to download this and I go to our directory. So first of all, what I would want, the images are in over like 2 MBs. I would want to first compress those. So there is a site called let me see if it will bring it here. There is a site I normally use. It really does like those compressions really well. Let me see app.so. Yeah, it's Squash. So that's what I mostly use for compressing my images. So I can select our image, which is this, and then we select the version that we want. As per now, I want it as WebP. Then it's going to bump it down to 73 kbs. That's okay. So now I can download. So the WebP version was set up. So I can also do it for the text logo. I get the text logo and then I reselect WebP. So it's going to reduce it to 84 KB. Download that. Let me see if we have like a PNG version. That's okay. So the PNGs are going to be 372 KBs. That's okay. I think I hadn't done the PNG version of the icon one. Can still do that. We can go to the icon, resize it to be browser PNG, and we download that. Then we can also have the PNG to icon for our favicons, and I usually like using FreeConvert if it properly generates those icons. Like for it doesn't resize those icons, like some sites or like some icon generator, favicon icon kind of type generators can reduce like the image kind of size. But if we want our favicons to actually have the kind of sizes that are standard, then please allow ads. Anyway, let me try doing that. Let me do this for now. I can disable filtering here. Let me restart. Then I select the image, which is whoa. I don't know why I'm not able to see the file names. Anyway, that's okay. Oh, so I want the output to be icon. So it can't generate that. I'd have to upload the PNG specifically. Yeah. So I think it's this or this. Yep. So I can delete that. This is icon. That's okay. And it's going to generate it, and I'll download it. So as we're in that, we can see our agent, how far it is. So it's done. We can go to our agent's overview, and then we get this file and place it out at agents directory. After moving that, then we can open it in our browser. Then go to the project setup. Agent. Then we open that project overview in our browser. I don't know why this. Okay, it's done. I can download that. I'm sorry about my internet connection is kinda slow, but yeah. Wait. Let me copy this and use IDM. To download that icon faster. Yeah. So alright. So it generated this. This is a project overview. Okay, downloaded it. I don't know the idea. Just close that. So you can see that it did use a lot of cards because of that design skill, yeah. So that's alright. So we can see the details of what the project is about. So we can see it's our modular SaaS operating system. Instead of building different systems, we're using a dual database kind of architecture. We already explained that. Then we have our current setup. So every module follows server functions that are going to be for that specific module. Then the UI components. Then this is going to be the business layer, whereby we're now going to call these server functions. Then these are just for the types, then for the hooks. Then this is just for like the export. Yeah. So the API routes are going to be only reserved for the webhooks or callbacks. And the tech stack is that, the architecture overview. So it explains the Supabase setup. So Postgres is the authoritative database. So identity, that module is going to have these tables: organizations, user profiles, user organizations, roles, permissions, stuff like that. Then the contact CRM. Alright, okay, the CRM right now is only going to manage the contacts. Then for the billing, then scheduling, then inventory, then reporting, workflow, and then the system. Then all the tables have to include an organization ID. It can't be null. Then we have the convex execution layer. This is not the main database, it's just like an execution layer for real-time UI subscriptions, notification deliveries, workflow execution, session management. In case you want to add like chatting and messaging, that's okay. Then we are going to use an event-driven kind of architecture, whereby the two setups communicate using the event table, and then modules solve functions right to the database, and the same action can be done to trigger the event table setup. Then now we go to the multi-tenant design. So here we have every row in every business table is grouped to an organization. We already explained that. Then the organizations table in Supabase is the root of that hierarchy. Then no cross-organization data is possible at database level. Enforced by that, those RLS policies, and every convex query and mutation must include an organization ID to properly ensure that that organization is the one making those queries. Same with this, and yeah. So what's the database strategy? It was properly explained. I'm not going to go through that. Then these are like the domain groups, directories under each. So the data flow was explained. The module architecture, the convex role, conversion or commit, the scopes that we have, examples, GitHub labels, milestone issues. So yeah, module description, identity engine. So we're going to start with this one, and this is one that is going to contain the user profiles, extending hosted users, and role-based control with global permissions. This is the foundation module. It lives in the Supabase setup. Then these are the GitHub CLI commands if you have that installed. Then the system design summary. So yeah, this is kind of like the easiest setup for this. I can close that, and what I can do right now is copy those PNG files that we downloaded, or it squeezed it. That's not what I really needed. I can maybe try Convertigo. Never know, it might retain that our logo in its proper dimensions. So I can go to that's a PNG, that's okay. Then download this. Can see if it works, or if it was squeezed, that's okay. Though I feel that it was resized. It wasn't. So this is the WebP version icon. WebP version. Then this is the text version. Text PNG WebP. Then this is the main icon that we're going to use. So this is going to be our favicon. Then this is the old main ones. You can just delete that, delete this, and then this is the PNG that was resized. Icon PNG. Same with this. This is a text PNG. So yeah, so I'm going to cut these assets and then I place them within our application. I can go to the public directory, then I create an assets directory that is going to store. Let me just place them inside here. But then I can do the same thing for the landing page. Create that assets directory, paste them there. Or remember I cut, so I just have to now copy them from the admin assets. Copy all this, place them here. Then now we can go to the web app that is going to have the assets directory too, and then paste them there. So yeah, so we can go back to our VS Code and then we can, I don't know why the changes haven't yet been reflected, but yeah, alright, so they're here. I can just close this. So the other thing that I can do is just generate some, and like this is a true, and I can just place it under. Do we have a root scope? Not really, but we have a docs. I can just place it under infra. This is under infra. Then I can say generated HTML version, the HTML project overview, and assets. Then under that I can be like generated the project overview HTML using the project overview MD file, then added the local assets within all the application assets directories, and then you can commit that. Just close this. Yeah, so now we can go to the workspace setup. Yeah, you can just close this. Some of this, the design skill was properly used. Close Photopia for now. Then first push the changes. Then we go to our main module and go to the first issue. Then close this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell now the agent to start working on that identity module. Can you help me work on that identity module? Ensuring, let me see, ensuring that those components are properly set up, all required hooks and the required So functions for the identity module, then or its services type, um, ensure that you work on the feed identity module branch. You can use a worksheet. Then after that we can be like also help me set up different worksheets that will work on the rest of the modules, ensuring also the required should I call them components and stuff are set up. Ensure that you commit depending on, let me first go back and ensure that each module is working on a different fit module branch. Then ensure that you commit. We need like 15 commits per module. So I think that is set up. So we can see if we have anything that is on our main that we wouldn't want. So I can probably go to the docs or the agents and put it over again. So yeah, this is how someone can view all these details. So I can run this now. So we're going to see how our agent is going to set up the identity module using this kind of setup. So yep, we pray for the best, let's hope for the best. Yep. It's understanding the patterns, that's okay. We are 58% of our session. That's going to take quite a lot of tokens, that's okay. Though there is a skill that I had wanted it to use. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Then I'm going to add a testing skill, yeah, a vitest testing skill. Let me see this. Just to be compatible, vitest is a next generation framework. Let me first go to that repository and see what is actually in that skill and differ, because I wouldn't want to just install that skill just for nothing. I'll go to the skills and then go to vitest and its skill. So we can see fast testing framework, key features, core configuration, features, advanced. Alright, so they are being defined under the references. That's okay. So we can what we expect, basic use cases. Alright, that's a good skill. So what I can do is I can go and install it. First clear this and install. So it's going to create the branches and the different work trees. So it's going to create the work trees. So here we just enter. I want this to global and just symlink, then install. So what we can verify is going inside the temp. Can go to maybe the main.agents file, then we can go to the skills. Then since we installed this after skill, we can see what is there. So we can see that I don't know if it references the other empty files that we had seen on the other issue. So you can see here, supposing score. Oh, this is a wrong skill. Sorry, it's not. I think it's under the brightest. Yeah, proper. So we can open the skill main. So we have the references. Let me see. You can see that all the MD files are here. So that's proper. That's okay. So can go back to our agent. Since we're going to use that for like testing. As per now, we can see 58 tokens. So it was just understanding this entire setup. So I can enter. Basically exit this. Alright, so we can just tell it to continue. Let me check if the skill is there. Yeah, by test it's there. Alright. So it's installing the Supabase.js package under the applications for the web application. So we should expect to see Supabase here. Alright, so can close this. Can close that. So it's going to create the identity structure. Yee. What is it doing? It's creating them outside, but you're outside our project directory. I don't know why it didn't prompt me to first verify that is a work tree. Alright, okay. Continue. Which stays on main, that's okay. That's a separate work tree. Alright, so the Supabase config files for the web. So it's running that. It's linking the project ID of Supabase within that module. Let me see what I got here. Alright. You can see what's happening on X. Yes, linting is failing. That's okay. That's still imperfect. It really needs to fix those ESLint bugs. Yeah. Pre-existing. It's so it has created the types. Let me see which directory it's working in. It's working in. Oh, these are the directories. So the identity module, we can go to. So as you can see, 73% session context. It's really taking a lot of tokens, yeah. So this is what it had worked on. As you can see, inside its modules, identity, you can see that has generated the types. So this is going to be for the user profile. So these are for like the input. Let me tell it to ensure to use what for our project application validations. Because I'm seeing it might not properly type these things. So this is from lib. I don't know why it's using this hash kind of setup. User preferences, okay. And I use organization. We're using this table. Those types are coming from the lib database types. Let me look for that lib database. So I think it's within the applications that yep. So these are the types. Allow you to automatically insert it. Create clients instead of create client database. I don't know why it has all our types in instead of them being under the package. Okay. We really don't need this kind of setup. Can you move all these application types into packages so that we have a types package that will have the relevant module types so that we don't bloat the applications with those long listed database kind of types, and also ensure each module has a directory where all its types. Alright, let's see how it does that. So we have the modules types permission. So there was under modules, close this, identity schemas. So this is where that created the schemas for like validation with Zod. Yup. And here we're just exporting out all the schemas for that specified module. So this is Zod. Organization kind of role. Have a view, have an owner, admin and stuff. That's okay. So we're validating the user ID. It's supposed to be like a string. So we're using UUIDs. Same with this. Then the default role is stuff. Alright. So we can see what is in there. So we can go to its setup, the new types package. So we can look at it. Africa OS types. The main file is under its source types. I told it to move all these database types. I told you to separate those database types into required module types instead of it having to put everything in like one file. We properly have to separate those types. Yeah, perfect. So it's going to write the module, change the created types, not that raw file. Yeah, that's okay. So what we expect is I can close this, then I can just have this on the left hand side. So we can have sorry, now it's set up identity, memberships. That's okay, perfect. Because instead of having this very long file that would probably not be a good developer experience to read and go through, and damn, it's hectic. We now have proper types, yeah, and proper validations with Zod. So, yep, instead of actually manually having to type everything, we're having both the Zod validations and the types at the same time. So that's a good feature. So it's setting up the types as setting it to the workspace so that our applications can view that. They can be able to view that package that has just been newly set up. Then we can see that right here it's on the fit identity module. Then let me tell it you can be pushing to remote for all those branches. Alright. So it's done with the identity module. I don't know if it was able to spin up the other work trees that are supposed to set up the other modules. Let me see. Yep, it was. It was able to do it, so they're also being properly set up. That's perfect. That's perfect. At the same time, that's really perfect. So instead of having to do one at the same time, like going through like first of all the identity module independently, inventory independently, we use the work trees to ensure that all of them are being done at the same time. Though I don't know if OpenCode by default supports that kind of setup, because it's only within Cloud that I've been able to see like that work trees proper setup. Yeah, and include code. So yeah, at least it's fine for now. So it's compacting. So Theo, I really like Theo and his content, so that's good. We can look at operated up password policies, that's okay. Suggest a window manager. Not required, check it out now. Build forms visually and generate production ready code. Okay. Can go to that post and see what it looks like. Yeah. So it's actually good to be able to be on X and look at other developers' works, and also be able to be on top of like what is coming out in the industry, the tools that are being shipped, and yeah. So you can see build forms visually, see production code, that's okay, stop handwriting schemas, components, drag fields, then copy fully typed React hook or TanStack form. That's perfect because just we're using TanStack forms for our setup, and also Zod, that's even perfect. So let me preview the TanStack form. Alright, it has this setup, sign up submit, form name, that's okay, submit label, that's okay, create account, so we can see the field is required. Perfect. It's really perfect. Yeah, generate codes. First way to build forms, from blank canvases to code in 3 steps. Alright, so what I can do is maybe add it to my gist. So I have a gist that has most of the developer tools that I work with, the fonts, the websites where you get inspirations for like the UI, admin dashboards, some of the UI kits I normally use, then the hosting providers, the AI agents, and stuff like that. So I'm going to add this to the dev plugin setup and the websites and inspirations. So I'm going to copy this. Let me just get the actual site. Copy link address, then paste it there. Then I can be visual form generator, paste it there, and it's called form canvas. Perfect. So this is a public just if you want to check it out. Whoa. Okay. Let me see what. Yeah, so from canvas will properly set up. If you want to see the guest, you can go to guest search for another dev, get plugins, and you'll see everything. So yeah, you can see some of the other tools that are there. It's a really good kind of toolkit that I've really spent a while trying to build. Yeah. So yeah, you can check it out. Actually, I'm going to see how to structure our landing page. Yeah, like how to have a very clean landing page. Yeah, and then the dashboard that we shall use for our application and setup. Yep. So you can see what it's doing. Alright. Still doing the tasks. We can be going through like the landing pages kind of setup. So we're going to use shared CN components or like shared UI, shared CN UI as our main UI kit for this entire project. So let me see what this build is all about, like how to set it up. So in case I want to create a new form, click add to the field. We have presets, profile settings, newsletter. Place the current form, that's okay. First name, last name. Can delete this. This can be full name. That's okay. Input type. That's perfect. Enter full name. That's okay. So it can be above or below. And it's a specifically one component. That's perfect. Can have a default value that is admin, but we don't need that now. Validation in length can be 2 characters. Don't have a max length. It's required. These other ones can be must be 2 characters. Perfect. So let's look at the actual code it generates. So it generates a client component. It imports use TanStack React form. using Zod. It imported the components from the UI setup for ShatCN. It's setting up time zones. I don't know where that is for this time zone. That's okay. Profile visibility options. Let me see. Alright, for public friends only and stuff like that. Then profile settings form that is being validated by Zod. That's okay. So then this is the actual form. Since we set it up using profile settings. So the name was profile settings, and it set it up as a profile settings form. That's okay. So default values, there's nothing. Then the validators on change and on submit. So we can test that out first. In case we have one character. Perfect. So that's working. Form field for username. If the field is invalid, then validate. Then we have the inputs, field states on change, on blah. That's okay. Alright, I think that's a good tool to use. Yeah, we might use it even within our setup here. I don't know where this has reached. This is a repo I can start. Backend development. Yep, so we can go look for landing pages. Yep. Let me see if there is any other landing page. Should see and UI kit. Yep. Let me properly specify free, because most of the stuff that we want to use for this project are supposed to be like publicly available for anyone to use. So there's this UI kit called Introducing Free ShatCN Design System, created by the UI team. And let me see what that's all about. This is a preview. It's just a UI kit. Then let me see the UI. So this is the UI kit. You can look at the different components they have. Let me see that. That's okay. Not that part. Let dialog. That's okay. Small medium. That's okay. Delete one. That's okay. Logout. Perfect. Alright. Then the other ones I like seeing their cards. This is okay, okay. This is okay. These are okay. This is nice. This is nice. Signing, this is really nice. Really nice. Even this. Same with that. That's okay. Then let me look at their carousels. That's okay. This is okay. That's okay. Think simple one, yeah, clean. Then let me look at their command setup. By default it looks like this. Alright, so not bad. Let me see the light mode version. R. Right, that's okay still. Not bad. Not bad. That's not bad. Let me go back to dark mode. Context menu. Alright, that's okay. Not bad. Perfect. We look at that drawers. That's okay. Then right draw. This is really nice. Yeah. The left draw. Perfect. Top draw. Perfect. Bottom draw. This is the default one. What happens if I drag? Oh, perfect. Let me look at the file upload. This is okay. Basically, they're okay. This is okay. This is impressive. This is a frames. That's okay. Frames sections. It's okay. Overcut. It's okay. Alright, that's okay. Look at the input. Alright. Look at the turn bands. This is really great, yeah. This is really great. We can use it within our CRM because I have this concept within that. Okay, there's like a small delay, but this is good. Let me see. Yep, so I think this is what works best because as you're dragging it, automatically sets up like a secondary transparent item that's already there. That's cool. Same thing here. I think these are the draggables. And these are okay. That's okay, that's perfect. Let me see KDB. Alright. Then let me see the menu bars. It's not bad. Alright. Then I can maybe look at the spinners and see which one to go with. These are the default ones. These are the default ones. Look at their step of ones. Default, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. This is not bad, this is not bad. Can see it's building modules at the same time. So yep, you can go back. Yeah, let me look at the tables that they have. This is okay. This is not bad. This looks clean. Let me change some of these tables here. Yeah, something like this. Might change some of these tables. Then they look clean. I think especially this one. This one really looks clean. This has a double kind of border. This has a cleaner one. Then there are chips. Not bad. Though most times I prefer like fully rounded kind of chips for these kind of statuses. But this is not bad. This table is nice. This is okay. I think we might have these sections within our setup. Look at their tabs. This is account, then password, settings, notepad, password, settings. I think this is okay. This is nice. That's perfect. Alright, let me look at their trees. This is perfect. Alright, any other tool I might want to use? As you're scrolling, you go to the next section. This is good for like documentations. As you're scrolling, you go to the next section. Perfect. That's nice. Then I think we didn't look at the sheets, but something like that. Let me look at the scrollable sheet. That's really nice. So let me look at the buttons though. That's okay. That's okay. Not bad. This is nice. This is okay. It's okay. These are alright. Let me look at their chat. Look at what the agent is doing, still in the workflows. These are the chats that they have. This is not bad. This is good. Then if they have any line chats. So as you can see, this is a style. This is a base UI kind of style. So it can be adjusted to the one that you want. So most of the times Radix UI is like the one I go for most of the times. Yep. They're using Nova style. That's okay. These are the line checks I was talking about. These are not bad. That's okay. These are nice. Might use some of these. This is okay, though I don't like the shadows. Infrastructure, that's okay. I don't like the shadows they place. I can look at the other stuff that they have. This is like a fully rounded with a nice kind of spacing setup. Okay. Then how about Vega? Alright, how about Lera? How about Mira? I think Maya is okay. Most of the things I want to do. Let me see, it's even the button on this side. Yep. I'll be using Maya. This kind of theme, and we are going for an orange look. That's not bad. Look at the calendar. Not bad. This is great. It's not great at this. Might not really be great at this. So alright. Can we turn the agents? As we wait, we can look at other UI components or libraries. This is great. I'm going to add this to the guest and the UI kit. I think I never had it here. I can do this. Then I copy this link. Then I place it here. Then copy that. So I can do UI. Can emphasize this. It's really nice. Update. Close this. So yeah, it was emphasized. Vanilla test UI standard blocks. Can go check them out and see. shatzihanduikit.com. So I think this is some of the pro kind of setups. So then we look at the dashboards. I think I already see these ones. Let's go back. This is extend UI. Put in components. Let me look at what extend UI is. You can just search about it. Extend UI. I think this is it. They have a pricing, custom components. We look at their components. They have few cards or like few components. That's one thing I've seen. Just get started text it to the docs. So they are okay, but it's not going to work for us. Pattern, check that out. Your components, this is what you need. Yeah, not that great. Let me see this. Uncover your secrets behind apps used by millions, good for designers, always free. Link management, how it works. Design canvas, content feeds, web coding editor, workout editor. Let me look at what's the explanation. Wait, you can't search. Whoa. Let me look at the dashboards. The dashboards that are available. Yep. So I have dashboards, daily dashboards, food ordering dashboard, investment dashboards, personal finance dashboard, test dashboard, SaaS HR dashboards. Can we, alright, doesn't give us dashboards. Let me first look at how this finance dashboard was set up. Let's use zoom in that one, history. Alright. Nah. Alright. That's not bad. That's not bad. We can add it to inspirations for like a later read. Yeah. Is it not now? UX snapshot. We can copy this, can paste it here. Then we close this. So going to be here, uxsnapshots.com. Paste that, update. Alright, so let's go back to our agents and see what is being done. Still running the agent modules. So these are the work trees that are being run simultaneously to be able to build all the other modules at the same time. So yep, and all the other modules are being worked on in different branches. So let me see if it was able to push those changes or those branches. Yeah, perfect. So we can literally see that we have 8 branches that were set up by the agent, and we have the one for identity, workflow, schedule, billing, and for now I think it hasn't pushed the changes for the other modules, but I think it's still working on them. So you can view more branches. I think these are all. So yeah. Alright guys, so thank you for having joined me throughout this morning session for developing Africa OS. Please like, please subscribe. It really helps a lot for me to be able to deliver to you like all these live streaming code streams. So as per now I'm going to stop here the live stream, but shall be back with the evening live stream where we're going to now continue after the agent has been able to like create all these modules. Yeah, so I'll keep you posted, and yeah, Thanks a lot for having joined me for today's stream, and hopefully you're able to join me in the next one.